Ladies and gentlemen, what we've seen on the event of this pay-per-view could potentially change the way that WWE might be able to do things for a long period of time. New and improved rivalries that could potentially be coming to both SmackDown and Raw. And overall, what I thought was a very good pay-per-view. How is it compared to some of the others I've reviewed? We're going to find out right now. Let's talk about the Clash of Champions. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show and welcome back to another video. Today we've got another WWE pay-per-view reaction, and this time it just so happens to be WWE Clash of Champions. We saw some incredible matches today and we also saw a few weaknesses in the show as well. But with that being said, how well did this pay-per-view fare with the amongst of others? In my opinion, this one is it's right up there. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below what was your favorite match of the night and which storyline would you enjoy the most out of what this pay-per-view provided, because I really do feel like some storylines could potentially go into a very good direction after this pay-per-view. Now, the name of the title is exactly what happened in the WWE Clash of Champions. Every single match in today's card was for the championship. There was a championship match every single match, and you love that. You love to see it, and you even had some 24/7 title here and there in the show as well. And of course, this is going to work with, I'm going to talk about all the matches that happened, including the pre-show this time around, and give my honest reaction to every single one of them. Now, for the pre-show, I believe there was only one match. There could have been more, but I did only watch the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship match on the pre-show. So yeah, that's it basically. We're gonna have to move on from that. I believe that's the only match, but if I am wrong, I'm very sorry. But we're gonna kick things off with that match. So, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the Lucha House Party, which was, in my opinion, this match was a pretty decent match. At the end of the day, it is an average match. Let's be fair, it is the pre-show. I wasn't expecting a world beater here, but of course the competitors in this match are more than capable to steal the show on any given day, and I really believe that. Maybe the characters of the Lucha House Party is something that I don't personally find myself drawn to, but at the end of the day, they are fantastic wrestlers in that ring, and I do think towards the end of the match, they really started to kick things off, put things into gear. I'm a sucker for fast-paced matches. I love when things go in quickly, when things go with a fast-paced action, one move, another move, just like that. There was even a good double team move with Cesaro holding his neck to make sure he doesn't get DDT'd, and bang, a jump out of the ring, and all of a sudden Cesaro just gets planted on his head. That was a beautiful move. I really like that as well. But at the end of the day, the winners of the match, and still the WWE SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. The match ended with a, I guess, the spin that Cesaro does and a King Shosa to the head. 1, 2, 3. The match is over. And overall, I'm going to give this match a C+. It was definitely better than the average match you'd probably see on SmackDown, but it wasn't a world beater at the end of the day. It wasn't something that I could hold my hat on and say, that's a great match. It was a good match. I think it was I think it was probably deserving of the pre-show, but again, I mean, look at the talent in this match, especially with Shinsuke and Cesaro, man. Look at the talent in that match, and they're on the pre-show. And that goes with WWE. I guess they have so much talent, but at the end of the day, I mean, they deserve better, don't they? Nonetheless, man, it really is what it is. I'm not going to go and complain about the pre-show and all of that. At the end of the day, these guys did do their job, and it made me excited for the main pay-per-view. I guess that's what their role is, but I don't think they should be stealing the show at the pre-show at the end of the day. They did what they were supposed to do. They did tear it up at the end, but that's really it. I wanted to put the pre-show in this one because titles are on the line, and I want to talk about the titles, man. They deserve that at least. At least they deserve to have the championships being talked about, because I don't want to be the one that just puts everything under the bus. That's not exactly how I feel towards the situation. Championships are meant to be respected, and I'm going to give them that respect. Next up, we've got the Intercontinental Championship match between the current Intercontinental Champions, Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy, versus the uncrowned Intercontinental Champion, AJ Styles, in a triple threat ladder match. And if you're looking for a way to start off a show, this was the way. Oh my, the ladder match, wow. It's very hard to make a ladder match creative. At the end of the day, you're going to see a lot of stuff you've probably seen before, but it's still, whether you've seen the moves before or you've seen them for the first time, the impact of these moves when they put their bodies through ladders is unprecedented, man. Ladder matches are so creative, they're so good. Every ladder match I've seen, for the most part, has been a really good match because of the things that they have to put themselves through to make that match entertaining. We saw a bunch of stuff. First of all, Sami Zayn's back, man. I feel sorry. I would not want to be Sami Zayn's back at the moment. That thing, you could not see any skin on his body that wasn't red. Let's just say it how it is. He must have done a lot, man. He put himself through a bunch of pain. You saw a lot of fantastic highlights as well. You saw a swanton bomb onto Sami Zayn on the top of the ladder, through another ladder. You saw a bunch, man. Sami Zayn got tossed all over the place. AJ Styles got thrown off of ladders. Jeff Hardy got thrown on from a ladder to a turnbuckle, then to the floor. You even saw the finale of this match pretty much, which was Sami Zayn handcuffing Jeff Hardy's ear. Oh my god, his ear piercing, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. I hate when people touch the ears, bro. It's annoying. But anyway, pretty much handcuffed himself to his hand and also handcuffed Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn handcuffed himself to AJ Styles. And basically the winner of the match, if you don't know, is Sami Zayn. I don't really know how to explain that ending of the match, but it was definitely creative. It was not something I've never seen before. And again, Sami Zayn, the tactician, ended up outsmarting both of the candidates in this match. Now, originally coming into this match, I thought Sami Zayn stood no chance. I'm not going to lie. But he's proved me wrong. He's proved me wrong. He won the match. I think he deserved to win the match as well. At the end of the day, he never lost the Intercontinental Championship. That is something that will always remain true to a lot of people. Whether you want to call him the new or still the Intercontinental Championship, the fact is he did not lose that title. So in the end, I'm going to come out and say that Sami Zayn is still the Intercontinental Champion. He's retained the Intercontinental Championship and he is the undisputed Intercontinental Champion. So this match, in my opinion, what I said about it doesn't do it justice. You have to go watch this match yourself. Literally, it's the first match. It's going to be the best 20 minutes that you've probably seen on this entire pay-per-view. There are better matches, I think, personally, but for the actual match to kick things off, this match, in my opinion, was an A-. Absolutely sensational. I really enjoyed this match, how it kicked things off. The competitors in this match really elevated it, and you're asking for a great pay-per-view when you kick that match off with a ladder match for those candidates in the match. Fully respect, man. I can never do the things that they do, so you have to admire some of the things that they put themselves through for us at the end of the day. And that's one of those moments where I respect the hell out of these guys, and they deserve all the praise that they will get coming forward. Obviously, we talked about the 24/7 championship, and that's something that did happen as well. Two potential changes for the 24/7 championship. So the first one was basically Drew Gulak rolling up R-Truth after he went to the referee's room. 1, 2, 3. Drew Gulak is the new 24/7 champion. I'm not going to rate this at all because at the end of the day, it's like a 2-3 minute segment. It's nothing special, and to be honest, I personally don't like this 24/7 championship stuff. I think it's gotten very old and they already have failed to make it as creative as it was when it came in. But regardless, that is something that did happen. If you guys enjoyed that, I'm glad. I personally don't think Drew Gulak should be in this position at all. He should not be in the position where he has nothing to do but win the 24/7 championship. But you have to make things work with what you're given. And he definitely did that. Next up, we've got the Raw Women's Championship between Asuka and Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega, a very, very unusual opponent for Asuka because she's barely wrestled with the WWE at all. or at least on the main television shows. She's only competed in very few matches, and she is now a contender for Asuka after beating Mickie James, who did return as well. Something that I didn't mention before because it happened in between pay-per-views. I'm very happy Mickie James is back as well. But in the end, this match was very short and it was pretty basic at the end of the day. I understand where they were going with this match. Obviously, Zelina Vega has to use everything, basically she can't be studied because she barely wrestles, so she has to surprise Asuka. She has to take advantage of her injuries, and the match itself, the structure of the match was good. You don't expect Zelina Vega and Asuka to just go full on super kicks and beating the hell out of each other. That's not what I suspected, because in the end Asuka would win that comfortably. But I really respected how this match went, but I do think this was a very basic match. I really think this is more of a TV match than a pay-per-view match. And I think out of all the matches that did happen in the Clash of Champions, this one was probably the weakest. So in fairness, I didn't expect much coming into this match. I really do like Zelina Vega as a superstar. I do think she's incredibly underused in terms of wrestling. But whatever you think of this match just didn't live up to the expectation, at least I thought of it. So I'm going to give it a C. It's not a bad match. It's not a bad match, but it is a very basic match. There's not many bad matches you'll see from WWE in terms of pay-per-views. You're not going to see a terrible match with botches left, right, and center. This was not it. The structure of this match and the way this match went was okay, but I wanted more. Maybe it's just me being overzealous. I wanted more out of it. Maybe I wanted a more exciting match, but I think at the end of the day, the ending of the match was a little bit more exciting. Zelina Vega basically attacking Asuka, saying that this will not be over, that she'll get another chance again, and I welcome that challenge. I want to see if they could top what they did this week, this pay-per-view, because a bunch of the matches that we've seen that are replays of the last pay-per-view really had a better improvement on it for this time around, and that's why I think this is one of the better pay-per-views at the moment, at least. The winner of the match was Asuka from the Asuka lock, and yeah, I gave the match a C. So there you go. That's the final outcome of the match. Next up, we've got Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews for the United States Championship. Ricochet in the corner of Apollo Crews, MVP, half man, half amazing, in the corner of Bobby Lashley. And again, this match, last pay-per-view, this match was one of the weakest ones, and they really did a better job in my opinion this time around with that match. Again, it was a lot more faster paced. You started things off pretty quickly with a backflip from Apollo Crews, and it really looked like he was going to win this match. Of course, I didn't think so, but you know, you can make a believer out of anybody if you try your hardest, and I really did believe that this could be Apollo Crews' time, but it all came crashing down, and Bobby Lashley ended up retaining the United States Championship with the Hurt Lock. I don't know why it's called that. I think they need to find a better name for that. And the Hurt Business once again get one over on Apollo Crews and Ricochet. Also, I should say, because I don't do Raw reviews or SmackDown reviews, I really did enjoy what the Hurt Business and the Retribution are doing. I do enjoy the fact that Cedric Alexander's with the Hurt Business. Look, at the end of the day, you could question Raw and SmackDown's overall shows all you want, but there are certain segments on both shows that really stand out and really make those shows bearable to watch. So, and this is definitely one of them. The Hurt Business and the Retribution. In my opinion, that at the moment is one of the segments that make Raw watchable. So I really enjoyed that, and I hope to see it continue. Hope to see this elevated into Survivor Series, possibly further, and let's see exactly where this goes. The rating I'm going to give Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews is a B-. Yeah, I think I gave them a C+ in the previous one, and I'm going to give it a B- here. Again, I really think they stepped it up. I did think they have a better match, and of course, Bobby Lashley did what he was supposed to do, and he retained the United States Championship. Next up, we've got the Street Profits versus Andrade Cien Almas and Angel Garza in a Raw tag team title match. I was going to say Raw Live, but that's not right. Anyway, The Street Profits, look, this match was good, but of course there were big issues in this match that really made it a little bit worse for wear. And in the sequence I'm talking about is obviously Angel Garza's knee injury. He couldn't continue the match. The Big X sign that happened, and yeah, and that kind of stunted the match a bit. But of course, the match itself was good. You saw. I don't know what it's called, but basically the front flip and the back flip from the turnbuckle, really good. I enjoy seeing that every time I see it, man. And they did very well with what they had. Now, was this better than previous matches? I definitely think it was better than the previous pay-per-view match, but at the end of the day, I'm going to give this one probably a lower rating. So I'm going to give it like a C+, because at the end, that injury really stopped things from moving. And of course, the finish of the match was basically Andrade kicked out. So until I know that to work, I'm just going to say that really didn't sit well with me. But at the end of the day, I know that's going to be a work. I know you're going to see Andrade come out on Raw and say I wasn't pinned and all of this, and then we're going to have another match, maybe with a different partner this time. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. But until that does happen, C+ is the rating, and Street Profits retained the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. Next up, we've got, and here we go, another 24/7 championship. Yeah, look. I can't say that I enjoyed this one either. Of course, R-Truth won his 24/7 championship back. Again, I just don't like this 24/7 stuff at the moment. It's unique, it's different, but they failed to capitalize on the creativity of when the title was introduced. So a year down the line, it has been, I believe, maybe 2 years now. It's become basically the same thing. They're just trying to milk it for what it has, and then it's probably going to be thrown away like all the other ideas they do. So yeah, you can rate it if you want. I'm not going to rate it. Next up, we have Bayley, who was supposed to face Nikki Cross for the WWE SmackDown Live Women's Championship, but unfortunately Nikki Cross was unable to compete. I don't really know why, but yeah, she was unable to compete. So Bayley sits pretty much in the ring, just laughing her head off, being the heel that she's supposed to be. She called out for an open challenge, and then within like a second she said, open challenge not accepted. But still, basically when the open challenge was opened and closed, Asuka comes in as the challenger, but realistically she closed the challenge. So Asuka is coming in for no reason. If you open the challenge, you call out an open challenge, and then the challenger doesn't come out within the time that you open it, and then you shut it again, there's no challenge there. So that's, look, man, that's just pity thinking at the end of the day. I'm sure it doesn't mean anything, but realistically, that's the truth. That's how it's supposed to be. If you have an open challenge and no one answers, and then you shut the challenge, there should be no challenger. You don't come in afterwards. But hey, that's just nitpicking at the moment. I'm not gonna put that into the match. Overall, the match I thought was probably better than expected, considering it was pretty short, and Bayley got her ass kicked for most of it. So I'm gonna give this match probably a B-. I think it was better than Selena Vega and Asuka, but again, the only reason it got a B- was because of how much was actually in a short period of time. You saw suplexes on the outside, suplexes on the inside. You saw a bunch of things within a short time frame, and obviously the winner of the match was Asuka, but Bayley will retain the SmackDown Live Women's Championship by hitting Asuka with a steel chair. I saw this coming. As soon as this happened, I saw this coming. And I expected that. I expected Bayley to just absolutely go ham on the chair and destroy Asuka with that chair. But what I didn't expect, and I should have expected it, but I'm not going to lie, I did not expect Sasha Banks to come out and hit Bayley with the chair. When I saw that chair shot from Bayley, that scared me. Like I got a big whoa. Like, I didn't expect that because I just didn't see it coming. That's probably a rookie mistake on my end, but I didn't see it coming. And obviously, Sasha Banks got her revenge, hit her with kendo sticks, hit her with steel chairs. And And yeah, we're leading towards a very big match between Sasha Banks and Bayley. Whenever that ends up happening, I hope this goes to WrestleMania. I think that's where it is going to go. And I hope they keep that trajectory, because this match deserves a WrestleMania match at the end of the day. These two have been rivals and best friends their entire career. They've had great matches in NXT, and they've had great tag team matches. They've faced each other several times as well on the main roster. At the end of the day, you can't separate these two when it comes to their career at the moment. That's basically where this is going. They're always going to be intertwined. It's almost like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Yeah, you could separate them from both shows. You could separate them at the time, but overall, when you think about Kevin Owens' career, you're going to think about Sami Zayn, and when you think about Sami Zayn's career, you're going to think about Kevin Owens. And I do think Bayley and Sasha Banks are going to be very similar in that way, where when it's all said and done and you reflect on their career, you're going to think of both of them together and facing each other more often than not. So that's where I think this is going to go, and I'm looking forward to it. I do think these guys can pull off great matches. At the end of the day, when Sasha and Asuka versed, it was an incredible match. When Bayley and Asuka versed, it's an incredible match. I suspect Sasha Banks and Bayley to be an incredible match, and judging on history, I really think that's going to live up to the standards. I hope maybe it's a no-holds-barred match. I do see a TLC match between these two, or maybe a chairs match. I do think that's also be a direction where we're probably going to get led to as well, where Sasha Banks and Bayley will verse in a chairs match. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to wait and see. They're planting the seeds. Like I said, they will always plant the seeds. I'm excited to see what this can grow into. Next up, we've got the WWE Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton in an ambulance match. And this match was incredible. And in my opinion, this was match of the night. Now, there are a few things that I do have a few issues with this match I want to get out of the way, but I really did enjoy it. So obviously Drew McIntyre came into this match not 100%. And when he basically got his first DDT on the apron, he was down. And of course, all of the superstars, and we'll get to the first one, but all the superstars, except for one, because we'll get to him later, but all the superstars that he punted in the head and sent out basically got their revenge. First, there was Big Show. Chokeslam Randy Orton through the table. Basically, Drew McIntyre still alive in the match. And here they go. They start pummeling each other. They start beating each other up. They go into the backstage area. And all of a sudden, here comes Christian, the man that you didn't think you'd see fight again. Here he comes, Christian, getting his comeuppance, beats him up, throws him through into a table. The table didn't break, and off he go. Christian leaves. It's all said and done. And then all of a sudden, Drew McIntyre's back in the lead. I feel like Drew McIntyre just clearly wasn't ready for this match, health-wise. When you have a broken jaw, you get RKO'd, you're going to lose. Like, I really think... I'll get to it later. I just want to keep on going. So the match ends up going to near the ambulance, and Drew McIntyre claymores the door open. Of course, he misses Randy Orton, and now his knee's injuring him. They fight at the top of the ambulance as well. Drew McIntyre gets cut because he's thrown into glass, and I'm surprised that he got cut because hey, look, man. Look, it is what it is. That's a tough bump that he took. So you give all respect to the athletes in these matches, especially in this one. Then you're fighting on the top, and basically Randy Orton pushes him off the top of the ambulance, and he's ready. He knows the match is going to end. Then all of a sudden, Shawn Michaels comes, super kicks him on top of the ambulance, and throws him off of the ambulance through something. I heard a table break, but of course we don't see it. And obviously the match keeps on going. Drew McIntyre is well in control now. He Claymore kicks Randy Orton off. Also, Randy Orton did get an RKO win as well. And it came this close to Drew McIntyre still losing the match. But at the end of the day, Drew McIntyre does what he does best, and he ends up defeating Randy Orton by delivering a punt to Randy Orton. The same punt that put so many men out of action was his own downfall. Closes the ambulance. Drew McIntyre is the winner. Drew McIntyre retains the WWE Championship, and now he's riding off with Randy Orton. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, till this day at the moment, Randy Orton is still driving to the ambulance with Ric Flair, Ric Flair at the wheel. So there you go, and it was a good match. Now, what bothered me with this match is that it took 3 men to defeat Randy Orton tonight. 4 men, if you count Drew McIntyre as well. You had Big Show chokeslam Randy Orton through a table. You had Christian throw Randy Orton through into a table, and yet Shawn Michaels switch in music, Randy Orton, and throw him off an ambulance. And yet Randy Orton still ended up being so powerful that he came this close to winning. I think that's the issue people will have with this. But at the end of the day, of course, this was great storytelling. Randy Orton got his payback. And you couldn't have wrote it better, really. The only person I really wish I would have saw, I know he's injured, but I really wish I would have saw Edge just make a cameo in this match. Maybe just be the one that comes out and pats Drew McIntyre on the back like, yeah, that's it, you know? That's the way to go. Just as cameo out of Edge would have been nice, but it didn't happen. And of course, it's still a great story. And the match itself really held its own as well. It was a good match. So in the end, I'm giving this match an A. I think it was slightly better than the ladder match. Of course, there's not really much, in my opinion, that can be differentiated. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton have had very great matches, and they've held Raw really, really good at the moment. Randy Orton is still the king of Raw at the moment, and Drew McIntyre, of course, the champion. Everybody loves Drew McIntyre. He's carrying the show as well. So they make Raw watchable as well. They make it bearable to watch. When I watch Raw, I stay tuned for those two people respectively. So they tore the house down, in my opinion. And that was definitely, in my opinion, the match of the night. So there you go. That's what I think the match of the night was. It was Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. At the end of the day, you can't write a story better. Randy Orton gets punt kicked and sent off to the hospital just like it did to everybody else. It's the perfect ending. And maybe we see Randy Orton again. I don't think we're going to see Randy Orton for a while, because I don't think he just comes back on the next Raw and says that he deserves another match and stuff like that. Really sell the injury. Give him a month or so off, just like Drew McIntyre had a few weeks off. And we'll work from there. And maybe Drew McIntyre gets some time off as well. Who knows? I mean, the broken jaw's not going to heal itself. But we'll wait and see about that. But I really like that. Last but not least, the main event of the evening was Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the Universal Championship. Now, this match in itself was an okay match. It was a good match. It was one of the better matches of the night. But for me, the story of this match was far superior than the match itself. First off, I have to give credit. Jey Uso's entrance was spectacular. I enjoyed his entrance, and Roman Reigns' new look was extremely badass and big dog. And again, it gets me hyped when I saw that new look Roman Reigns. No more vest, no more being that superhero that wears the vest and everything. He's just one big tough badass, and he's gonna come out and destroy you. That's basically what I got out of this. I really enjoyed the new look. Of course, the match itself, it was more Roman Reigns just kicking the shit out of Jey Uso. Sorry for swearing. Basically, that's what the match was. Of course, Jey Uso had spades of offense, and again, he came close. He did come close, and he showed fight. And when I saw what I saw of this match, I first thought this was going to be a burial. But I don't think it was a burial, because I think Jey Uso really had a good account of himself. But of course, the story is that Roman Reigns is going to prove that he's the family tribe leader. He's the king of the tribes and everything. And that he's the one that's putting food on the Usos' plates and giving them money, making them succeed and everything like that. And the story itself was spectacular. And no quit from Jey Uso whatsoever. Even when he's basically being beaten to a pulp, he can't stand up. He's still not quitting. And I hope this is not the last I see of Jey Uso in the main event. And even Jimmy Uso as well, who did come out later. But as much as this was basically a burial from Roman Reigns to Jey Uso, I think there's more to this story that can be done. I hope this is just not a one and done, and then we're going to see Jey Uso back in the tag team division, or back in irrelevancy until Jimmy comes back. I don't want to see that. I think there's so much more to this story. I even see potentially Jey Uso winning a Universal Championship from Roman Reigns. Maybe not pinning him, but definitely in a circumstance where he does become the champion, and Roman Reigns gets even more sadistic and manipulative and just absolutely badass, and goes and destroys him 10 times over. A lot worse than what he did tonight. And I want to see stuff like this, but I really feel like WWE is going to make this a one and done, and we'll never see Jey Uso in the title match again. And I hope that's not the case. I want to see this continue. At the end of the day, I know the Fiend is there for Roman Reigns, and that's ultimately going to be the match that could potentially see Roman Reigns lose. But I think there's so much more to this story that could potentially be done. I don't want it to be ignored. I really want WWE to capitalize on this. In the end, Jey Uso did come down to the ring after basically Roman Reigns was just punching the hell out of him, and he threw in the towel, and he called Roman Reigns the king of the tribe. Basically, you're the tribe leader. He said that, and Jey Uso was begging him not to do it. So look, there's more to this. There could be a potential match between Jimmy and Jey Uso, which would be very interesting. I would look forward to that as well. But obviously, Jey Uso didn't want to call Roman Reigns the leader of the tribe, and Jey Uso did it for the sake of his brother. And there is more to this story. Please, WWE, do not let this go untold. I want to hear more about this. I want to see more about this. I think there's more to this that meets the eye, and maybe they can tell one hell of a family story here. But in the end, that was the end of the pay-per-view. Overall, if I had to give this match a grading, it would be a B+. It would be a B+, but the story itself is an A+. I really think this story, if it continues, is an A+ story. And I really think the creative team on SmackDown have really got something here. And I want them to continue it. You want to make Roman Reigns look like the biggest heel of them all? You make him beat up his own family. It's as simple as that. That's how you're going to get it done. Anyway, that is it. At the end of the day, you saw a bunch of ratings that will defy, I guess, what a lot of people will say. There were a lot of C's in this one that was justified. You saw a couple of B's and you saw 2 A's. Overall, if you compare this to Payback, I really think this pay-per-view actually did a fair bit better than what Payback did. You got a lot of stories continuing their progress that Payback did set up. You also had a few of the better matches from Payback coming back and improving on Clash of Champions. So in reality, I gave Payback a B-. I think it's only fair that I give WWE Clash of Champions a B. So that's exactly where I'm going to settle things here. It was a better pay-per-view than Payback in my opinion, but I don't think it was deserving of a B+ or an A, because at the end of the day, there were only 2 really good matches that stood out and one fantastic story. But 2 really good matches in this card, and I really think it deserves a higher rating than Payback. Not by much, but definitely does. So it's a B for me. That's where I give WWE Clash of Champions. In the end, the next pay-per-view that WWE want to represent, that I will be doing a video on, is WWE Hell in a Cell. I'm contemplating doing a NXT TakeOver one. I've really wanted to do one, and now that it's actually on the Sunday, so this can come out on Monday in Australia, that could be the perfect timing for me to go and do something like that, because NXT is it's something that's undescribable, man. Like, NXT is really, especially their pay-per-views, are really fantastic. I don't miss a single one, and they're absolutely a joy to watch. So maybe one day I'll do a NXT TakeOver reaction, and we'll see where things go from there. But thank you guys for watching this very video. Please like and subscribe if you're new. If you agree or disagree with my ratings, please let me know in the comments below, and let me know as well what was your favorite match of the night, and do you think there's more to the Roman Reigns and Jey Uso story than meets the eye? Have a wonderful day. Take care.